Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201, and today we're going to talk about the show that's been in development hell, but that actually has casting announcements, the Harry Potter TV show, and why I really just do not think the show gets made or goes into production, actually, even despite the casting. So, first of all, I remember in 2022, I was at a upfronts event for Warner Brothers before the Discovery merger, and they said we're going to be doing 7 seasons of a Harry Potter reboot. This was in 2022, and that once the kids are in the high school portion of the show would end up being more like Riverdale, because this was at the height of Riverdale, and Riverdale was about to end. And now that makes sense, fine. And this was all going to be a Max exclusive. I believe the only things that have changed now is that this is allegedly now going to be an HBO Sunday primetime show. If this show comes out, which I do not think people understand how I don't think this show's going to be. For those who don't know, okay, they haven't casted any of the kids yet. And this was back in 2022. A thing they said is that we don't want the Stranger Things situation to happen. And this was in 2022. Right now, when our final season of Stranger Things comes out later this summer, we're at the point where the quote-unquote kids, right, they're all 24 now, okay? And let's be real, the kids on Stranger Things all look like they're in their late 30s or early 40s now. And the teenagers on Stranger Things are all 30, but look younger than the kids. And this was Warner Brothers complaining about this problem back in 2022. Before, the writer strike, the actor strike that delayed Stranger Things for 2 years, okay? They were already worrying about this age problem. So you have to hope you can go 7 straight years into production with the kids, because they are going to age very fast. I mean, just think, when Stranger Things premiered, right? Well, when they filmed, right? They filmed before the 2016 election, okay? They started filming right when Trump went down his golden escalator, okay? And now, Millie Bobby Brown is married. The kids are all like, maybe 24, but they look like adults. The teenagers look younger than the kids, but they're in their 30s. The whole thing. Now, so the whole thing is they want to cast 12-year-olds and then age them through, right? Go 7 straight years, like the 7 years of the Harry Potter books. But I don't think people understand the production issues when you have kids on the show. First of all, the kids, because they're going to be younger than 16 for the first 4 to 5 seasons, depending on how they do this, they're only allowed on set each day 4 to 6 hours. And for those of you who do not know, it takes about 12 to 15 hours to shoot 4 to 7 minutes of a TV show. Just so you guys understand this. Now, this is why the earlier Stranger Things seasons took so long, because it was mostly the kids, right? And then as, once the kids became teenagers and 18, they were able to go through that because there's no limits. Once they turn 18, there are no rules for how long they can be on set and everything's. The other issue, I see the other predicament that we're having with the Harry Potter shows, people are mad about the race bending of a Snape, right? We kind of got the announcements, right, that John Lithgow is going to be Dumbledore, Papa Stu is Severus Snape, Nick Frost is Hagrid, Janet McTeer is Professor McGonagall, and Luke Dallin is playing Professor Quirrell, and Paul Whitehouse will be the Grumpy Taker Argus. So we still have it. We don't have Voldemort, and we don't have the kids. We don't have any of the kids. Other thing with the Harry Potter show is they have not said, is this taking place in the 90s, the 2000s, or is it present day? Because this changes actually the fundamentals of the show, right? I'm sorry, but once you introduce cell phones into a show, it really fixes a lot of the problems that the Harry Potter movies had. They weren't able to communicate to each other because pagers and cell phones, and none of it existed. But yeah, they're in the magical world. Let me tell you, the Wizards reboot with God, I can't even. I don't even. I've seen the Wizards reboot. I can't. I'm trying to. Wait. What is the name of the girl? What the hell's her name? Wizards reboot. Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry. This is Billy. Okay, Billy. Who, by the way, I'm assuming is Alex's kid from the future, based off that season finale where she like grabbed her stomach when she said "my whatever," right? But anyway, the Wizard reboot takes place present day, as in the old version of Wizards of Waverly Place. They had cell phones, but cell phones didn't work like how our cell phones work now. It's weird to say because I am the same age as Alex Russo and Selena Gomez, etc. But on the new version of Wizards of Waverly Place, they do Wiz Talk, which is their version of TikTok. And if this is what's going to be the Harry Potter reboot, if we get it and it's present day, it's going to be a disaster. I don't want to see Wizards on a version of TikTok. And while a Quidditch game is happening, they're on their phones, on Instagram, and all the annoying nonsense. First of all, I hope they keep the 1990s version. Or if you're going to do it, at least 2000s, okay? You can do before cell phones, like, ruin everything. You can do 2000s, and you would still get pretty much a similar culture of the show. Now, I don't know why they race swapped Snape. I don't get it, because now the story seems really bad because, like, Snape is the villain and he's black and people are going to bitch about that. And then you have, like, the MAGA people who are mad that Snape is black, and you haven't, like, pleased anybody. Now, the kids, I don't think they're going to race swap any of the three kids. I assume Hermione will still be a girl who grows up to be a beautiful brunette. Ron will still be the ugly ginger, and Harry will be your normal, like, British-looking white boy. I assume Malfoy, they'll keep white, and Neville will maybe be white. But I remember they had, like, a fat bully guy that always with Malfoy. I guess they'll, like, make him Hispanic or something. Whatever, I don't know. But I just firmly do not believe they're gonna film 7 years of this Harry Potter show. Right? I understand they got the renewal that they have this 7-year contract. I just really refuse to believe that this show will go into production by the summer with the kids and just come out every year for 7 years. I just do not think any show has the infrastructure to do that anymore. Outside the Law and Orders and FBI's and the Chicago shows and the NCIS's, like the procedural shows, to do a show like this, 7 years with children. First of all, you got to find children who can act. I guess you got to take them from the British Broadway plays. I don't know how you do any of this. I just don't think the show goes into production. I think they'll pay out the contracts for like 2 years, but I just do not think. We haven't seen any leaks of what the sets are looking like because the sets would have been built by now, and I don't know if they're going to be reusing the movie Harry Potter sets, which still exist somewhere, and the exterior shots, and I don't know, is it going to be more of a CGI fest where like the original Harry Potter was a practical thing? It seems like a mess. Like, I know, like, if we were going to redo Harry Potter, it would have made sense to do 7 movies again. Not, also within the show, is it going to be 10 so each episode is going to be an hour, 10 episodes worth, so 10 hours to elaborate, and which means you have to build in like a Christmas episode, because like Christmas was a key thing in all the Harry Potter movies where Harry's left alone because everyone fucking hates Harry. And then, are we going to get summer vacation? Like, you see this? Fundamentally, I think the structure of this Harry Potter show is just not going to work. I think they may do movies again. I just do not see. But then again, with the movies, let's say this version, like with this current cast, gets released in theaters. I don't think it makes as much money as the original version. I think there's going to be too much hatred, like for both reasons, and the same way like the Snow White thing. Even though, like, Rachel Zegler, I got no beef with Rachel Zegler, but she doesn't need to bring in political statements with her trailer of movies and stuff like that. It just brought the attention to herself. Whatever. But yeah, this has been what I think in regards to the Harry Potter TV show.